The commissioner, Roger Goodell, did come out and essentially apologized for how he handled peaceful protests, but he did not mention Colin by name. Ultimately, what would you like to see happen now with Colin moving forward?
Well, first of all, let me say Roger Goodell is a good guy. We talk, we email back and forth. This has been going on since the very first week that he took that position. He's in a difficult situation. I know where his heart and mind is, and I've told him on numerous occasions that Kaepernick needs to be in the league. And if he is not in the league, since Roger does not do hiring for franchises to put people on the football field, he should bring him in as an assistant to him, working with the social justice challenges that we now face in the NFL. He has come out and stated that that is something that he would see as a desirable turn of events. As far as my own perceptions of Cap at this point, I think that he should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, not just in recognition of what he has done, but in recognition of what athletes have done, going all the way back to Jesse Owens and the Nazi Olympics, most certainly Jackie Robinson, and breaking the color line in sports and providing a model for the society. Smith and Carlos, Nelson Mandela had a photo of Smith and Carlos and a poster that we developed in support of eliminating apartheid in South Africa, smuggled into his jail cell, and decided to use that as a model for how he would avoid a bloodbath in South Africa. He didn't disband the Springboks, he expanded the Springboks and used them as a model for what he wanted to do in society. And he made it very clear that he got his idea from the Olympic Project for Human Rights and how we leverage that in the interest of human rights in American society. So I think that Kaepernick should be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. I have a couple of honorary doctorates coming up from European University beginning on Tuesday with Lausanne University in Switzerland, and I intend, as part of my acceptance remarks, to stress that Kaepernick should be at least nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, given what he has incited, not just in this country, but around the world in terms of social justice and so forth. It recognizes all of those athletes who, down through the decades, have played a critical role in expanding social justice and human rights issues. And if that's not worthy of at least a Nobel Peace Prize nomination, then I don't know what is. And it would be the first time that a sports figure has been nominated based on what he's done in sports or what she's done in sports.
Dr. Harry Edwards, I have several follow-up questions in regard, but I wanted to stay there for one moment before I got to my other questions as it pertained to Colin Kaepernick, because some owners in the National Football League have been conspicuously silent, particularly Jerry Jones for the Dallas Cowboys. I have been on the record stating that, listen, I think that Roger Goodell takes entirely too much heat because he answers to the owners and he can't hire Colin Kaepernick to play on the football field. And I think the owners have been able to use Roger Goodell as a shield to some degree in the league office for that matter. But as it pertains to owners, specifically the Jerry Jones of the world and others who've been conspicuously silent as this uproar has taken place and the protests have been in the streets throughout America, and now you see coaches in all sports, from various sports, along with players from various sports, talking about kneeling. How does this make the NFL look at this particular moment in time as it pertains specifically to those owners who have been obviously conspicuously quiet once again?
Well, I've held for a number of decades that silence is evil's greatest ally. And there's no other interpretation that you can make when you have silence, especially under the circumstances that we have today, that it amounts not only to an alliance with the evil of racism and discrimination, but with complicity in moving it forward. This is not to say that we must consider people who are silent as irredeemable. While we're calling people out, we must also call them in. So I look forward to the day when a Jerry Jones will step up and say, yeah, let's get this garbage off the road so we can move forward and be what we profess to be as an institution, this great and this support this great game that we have going in the NFL. So in calling people out for their silence, we have to also leave the door open to call them in, because this is about allies. We're going to have to do this together, and most certainly in something as visible and high profile as the NFL. At some point, all of the owners are going to have to come on board and say, "Okay, let's play football. Let's support our athletes, which our locker rooms, which are 75% black, and let's move forward."
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.